Hello everyone, this is Jan van Aaf from Language Boost, and today we're going to talk about code switching. But what is code switching exactly? Code switching is, let's say you're speaking a language and you use words from another language in that language, in your speech. That's basically what code switching is. And I use it all the time when I'm learning languages. For example, let's say I'm learning Russian. That's what I'm doing now. That's what I'm doing here, of course. And I don't know a certain word. Then I would just ask my teacher to give me the translation of that word. And first, I repeat that word and I check if my pronunciation is correct and my intonation. And then eventually I try to repeat the whole sentence, but this time using the word in Russian. I am on a mission to learn Russian, of course, but just to vary a little bit, let's give you an example in another language.
Qu'est-ce que tu as fait aujourd'hui, Yann?
Donc aujourd'hui, je suis allé aux toilettes, mais en fait, il y avait un problème avec le lock.
Avec la serrure?
Serrure? La serrure.
La serrure, ouais, c'est ça. Ouais.
Mais j'avais un problème avec la serrure, donc je ne pouvais pas fermer la porte.
And then a third thing that you can do is actually, and this is what I do in my language classes all the time. So I learn a new word, I apply that word in my new sentence, I talk about something else, and then 5 or 10 minutes later, I will repeat the whole story again. And I check if I can still memorize the word. It happens very often that I cannot memorize the word, and then I have to ask my teacher again. I think that's okay. If you have a very good memory, then you're probably not going to have this problem so often. But with Russian, I find it pretty tricky because words are pretty long.
Il faut juste, quand il y a quelqu'un dedans, il faut juste faire attention qu'on ne pas ouvre la porte.
C'est ça, ouais. On voudrait pas surprendre quelqu'un en pleine action.
And the last thing that you can do is that you repeat all the new words in sentences before the end of your lesson. If you apply these techniques, you repeat a new word, a new vocabulary 4 times in one conversation, in 1 hour conversation. If your language class, if you have 1 hour lessons, and that can sometimes be enough to memorize a word in the long term. With Russian, I often found it's a little bit more tricky as it's my first Slavic language, and it helps if I revise this vocabulary also in the next lesson, or I create Anki decks and I practice new vocabulary with Anki or another spaced repetition app.